Have you ever really thought about what happens after you take a bite of food? I mean, 1 second it's on your fork, and the next, poof, it's gone. Well, today we're going to follow that one single bite on its incredible journey through this amazing complex factory that is our own body. So, let's get right into it.
Yeah, that's really the big question, isn't it? We all eat every single day, but we don't often stop to think about the absolutely fascinating process behind it. So where does this whole journey kick off? And how exactly does that bite of pizza or that piece of apple turn into the very fuel that keeps us going?
Well, it all starts on this long, winding road inside of us called the alimentary canal. Think of it like a superhighway with a bunch of crucial pit stops along the way. And our very first stop? It happens the second that food passes your lips. That's right. Most people think digestion starts way down in the stomach, but nope, it all begins in the mouth. It's kind of like a three-step welcome party that gets to work immediately, breaking everything down. So, first up, you've got your teeth doing the heavy lifting. That's the mechanical part, right? Grinding the food into tiny, manageable pieces. Then, the tongue gets in on the action, mixing it all up with saliva. But here's the cool part. Saliva isn't just water. Oh no. It's got a secret ingredient that kicks off the chemical breakdown.
And that secret ingredient is an enzyme called salivary amylase. This stuff is the chemical powerhouse of your mouth. The second you start chewing on, say, a piece of bread, this enzyme is already busy turning those complex starches into simple sugars. And just like that, digestion has officially begun.
Okay, so once we swallow, you might think the food just kind of falls down into our stomach, right? But that's not what happens at all. It's actually pushed down this muscular tube, the esophagus, by this really powerful coordinated wave-like motion. This whole process has a name. It's called peristaltic movement. It's just a series of rhythmic muscle contractions, like a wave, that squeeze and push the food along. And get this, it's so effective that you could technically swallow food even if you were hanging upside down. Now please, do not try that at home. So after that quick trip down the esophagus, our bite of food arrives at its next major destination, the stomach. Now the stomach is not just some passive holding bag. Not at all. It's a dynamic, J-shaped, muscular powerhouse that churns everything up and continues the breakdown with some seriously powerful chemicals.
The walls of the stomach release this incredible three-part cocktail. First, there's hydrochloric acid. This stuff kills off any nasty bacteria and creates a super acidic environment. That acidic setting is perfect for player number 2, an enzyme called pepsin, whose whole job is to start digesting proteins. And then, finally, you have mucus.
And that mucus is absolutely crucial. I mean, think about it. If it weren't for mucus, we'd feel that awful burning sensation, what we call acidity, and for good reason. The acid in our stomach is unbelievably strong. We're talking strong enough to dissolve certain metals. So why doesn't it just digest our own stomach? The answer is that simple protective layer of mucus. It's when that protective layer gets out of whack that we feel that uncomfortable heartburn. All right, so leaving the stomach, our now semi-liquid food enters what is really the main event of the entire digestive system, the small intestine. And don't let the name fool you. This thing is the longest part of the whole canal. If you uncoiled it, it'd be over 20 feet long. And this is where the final, complete breakdown of our food is going to happen.
But here's the thing, the small intestine doesn't go it alone. It's got two crucial allies helping out, the liver and the pancreas. The liver produces something called bile juice, which works just like dish soap on a greasy pan. It takes big globules of fat and breaks them down into tiny little droplets. That's a process called emulsification. At the same time, the pancreas sends in its own juice, packed with enzymes like trypsin for the proteins and lipase to tackle those now smaller fat droplets.
So, with all these enzymes working in perfect harmony, the final breakdown is finally complete. That bite of food we started with, it's now been totally converted into its simplest, most usable forms. Proteins have been broken down into amino acids, carbohydrates have become glucose, and fats are now fatty acids and glycerol. This is the fuel our body can actually use.
Okay, so the digestion part is done. We've got the fuel. But now what? How do we get that fuel from inside the intestine and deliver it to every single cell in our body? I mean, from our brain all the way down to the tips of our toes. Well, that's where the next amazing step comes in, absorption.
The answer is these incredible little things called villi. The inside wall of your small intestine is covered with millions, literally millions of these tiny finger-like projections. Their job is to create a massive surface area for absorption. In fact, if you could flatten it all out, it would be about the size of a tennis court. And it's these villi that grab all those useful nutrients and pass them right into the bloodstream, ready to be delivered all over the body.
But hold on. What about this stuff that couldn't be digested? You know, things like fiber. The journey's not quite over for them. All that leftover material moves from the small intestine into the final leg of its journey, the last stop on our digestive highway. Let's call it the waste management department.
This undigested food gets sent to the large intestine. Now, its main job isn't really digestion anymore. It's more about absorbing any excess water from the waste. This process turns what's left into solid waste, which is, well, stored, until it's finally removed from the body. And that final exit is called egestion.
And there you have it. That really brings the whole journey to a close. It makes you think, wow, my single small bite took such a long journey inside my body. From that first chew to the mechanical grinding, the chemical reactions, the absorption of nutrients, and finally getting rid of the waste. It is an absolutely incredible, perfectly coordinated process that's happening inside us right now without us even thinking about it.
So maybe the next time you sit down to eat, you'll think about it a little differently. Will you think about that incredible journey your food is about to take? It's just an amazing reminder of the complex biology at work that keeps us all going. Thanks so much for coming along on this wild ride through the digestive system.